You know, like I've been saying it for years, but eventually we're gonna have just three companies that own everything, and it's a very bad thing, but it'll kind of be a good thing for us, but it'll be a bad thing because there won't be any competition and they can do whatever they want to do. It'll be good for us because eventually it'll dwindle down to where we're only paying three subscriptions for stuff rather than the freaking 25 subscriptions if you want to watch what you actually want to watch. Like it's ridiculous. Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, HBO, Netflix, Hulu. I mean, World of Warcraft, Xbox Game Pass. I could go on and on and on. There's so many freaking things that you that are asking for you to pay subscriptions for. Inevitably, it'll be down to like three, and those three companies will own everything. And pretty much in the end, the competition will be, oh, a new company came out. Which one of the three is going to buy it up first? Like, which one's going to get to it first? And yeah, it's an insane, ridiculous amount. Like, these people that they're just like, oh yeah, go watch this on Hulu. But then I was watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. But then I was catching up with all the Smallville episodes. I was rewatching those on Hulu. But then I was watching The Witcher on Netflix. But then I was playing Dying Light 2 because I have Xbox Game Pass. I'm like, how do you have the money to pay for all these subscriptions? It's like insane. And then avoiding the subscriptions is even harder than paying for all the subscriptions, because you could do this thing where you pay for 1 month, you watch what you want to watch, and then you cancel it, and then the next time that launcher, that company releases a show, you restart your subscription, only pay for that 1 month, watch the show, and then cancel it. But for people like me and Sarah, we can't just sit down and binge watch a show. We can't, like, it takes us a month to watch a show, because like how we do it is Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, we watch 2 episodes of a show that we're watching. So it literally takes us a month to get through an entire show. And so we can't do that type of thing where we're like, okay, I want to watch all the episodes of Bar Rescue. So I'm gonna subscribe to Paramount Plus for only 1 month, and then I'll cancel it immediately. So I'm only paying for that 1 month, and then when that's done, I'm gonna go over and watch Witcher season 1 and 2. So I'm only gonna pay for 1 month with Netflix, and then I'm gonna watch all the seasons of Smallville over again. So then I'll only activate 1 month for Hulu. It's just too complicated to do it that way. It's annoying, and it's disappointing too, because it's like, I really do want to watch The Mandalorian. It looks like a great show, but I'm not paying for Disney Plus to do that, and I'm not going to do this thing where I'm like, okay, I'll get it, and then I'll immediately like cancel it and have to deal with that stuff. And then it's like, and then there's shows that are moving around too. Lucifer, it got moved from one to another. So you're like, okay, I've been paying for this so that I have the hope to eventually go back and watch Lucifer on this, but then it got canceled on this, so I can't watch it here. Now it's on Netflix or wherever, and I got to start watching and continuing the seasons over there. So I'm going to have to activate a Netflix account and pay for that to watch the rest of it over here. And then you have, what was the other show I was thinking of? But anyway, the whole point is, they go from like, Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai was on YouTube and it moved to, yeah, Cobra Kai. That's exactly right. That's what I was trying to think of. It went from YouTube to Netflix. And so it's like, okay, I was paying for ad-free on YouTube, so I didn't have to, watch Cobra Kai in 15-minute increments. But now I have to subscribe to Netflix to watch the rest of what happens in Cobra Kai, and it's like, oh my god, like, but who has like $160 a month extra to pay for all of these subscriptions and maintain them and keep them going? Like, Nobody's willing to do that. Nobody. Like, I don't care how rich you are, you're not going to want to do that. You're not going to want to spend that much money. So you have a positive that's eventually going to happen, but it's a big negative because they won't have any competition either. And another thing is Hulu. I love Hulu. I don't subscribe to Hulu, but I love Hulu in the aspect of they release their shows on DVD. Netflix, I hate them for not doing that. Like, they really could increase their revenue in their company by releasing all their shows on DVD. They need to release The Witcher on DVD, and they need to release Daredevil, The Punisher, all Luke Cage, all of them. They need to be released on DVD and allow people to buy them, because we are still in this age where the older generations do not and will not and absolutely refuse to switch over to the age of the internet. And what I mean is they're still watching their shows on cable, and some of them are like, oh yeah, I heard this new Daredevil show came out, but I just don't feel like dealing with all of the crap that I'll have to learn to go and use the internet, buy internet, because they don't have internet. They just have a cable box. And they're like, I got to buy internet and set that up and then set up a Netflix account so I can watch Daredevil on Netflix. I'm not willing to do that. There are a lot of people out there that feel that way. They are still stuck in the age of cable and have not gone into the age of the internet, and that's just the way they are, and they refuse to change. And so, considering that, there's a lot of people out there. One that I'm thinking of particular, he's the guy that comes in and sweeps our he cleans our carpets. The guy that comes in and cleans our carpets, he's like, I'm just gonna stick with my cable, even though it costs a lot. I don't care. Like, that's essentially what he said to me. He's like, I don't care, because I don't want to have to figure out how to set up internet, get internet, buy it, and pay for that. And when my wife, she still wants to just watch cable. And I'm like, yeah, you'd be paying for cable and you'd be paying for internet. Then you'd have to figure out how to set up a Netflix account. And it sounds simple to people like us that have a lot of information and understand the internet and stuff like that. But imagine, like, the internet being there for you, but you've never done anything with it, and how it just sounds so complicated and stressful to you. You just do not want to do it. You just don't. And you stick with your cable instead, even though cable sucks. It's way overpriced. They don't care. They're still going to connect. They're still going to continue with cable. But what comes with cable, they also have a DVD player. They have a Blu-ray player. They use that. Many people do. And so after Netflix premieres their Netflix shows for a year or two, and especially after they've canceled the show, you can have a resurgence with the show, and you could make a pretty decent amount of money by releasing those on DVD and Blu-ray. And I don't understand why they don't. I just don't get it. It makes no sense. But Hulu, I don't subscribe to them, but I do love them because they release their shows on DVD. And it's the same thing with HBO. They released all of the Game of Thrones on DVDs, despite the fact that you could pay for an HBO subscription, and they could have just said, hey, you have to have that subscription. That's the only way that you can go back and watch Game of Thrones if you want to do that again. No, they didn't do that. They released them on DVD. And that's the smart way to do it. And I don't know what Netflix are doing. Like, they used to be about the DVDs. Like, that's all they used to be as a company. They would let you rent DVDs, and they would mail them to you. And I don't know why they completely gave up on that concept. And, you know, instead of, like, when they gave up with mailing the DVDs out, they should have switched that over to, we're going to put our shows on DVD, we're going to release them. Because you're going to make a good profit. Especially like me. I would love to own Daredevil, especially. Daredevil was such a good show. And, you know, that would just be awesome to have that, to physically have that. But whatever. I don't know.